Okay, terminology. So as we've said, English needs to be used on a daily basis in our classroom. Our learners need to speak, read and write it. And remember, it's the basis for understanding. So these are a couple of tips and tricks that we can use. And remember, we need to use clear and simple language. So for example, instead of saying a crop yields 2 tons of grapes, a lot of your students won't know what yield means. So use simple language. Well, a crop yields, not yields, a crop produces 2 tons of grapes. They understand that. Then ask key terms in class while teaching. So this is where I like to do this. I'll share a tip here, is I often try and make it sort of ad hoc so that learners don't always think, oh, she's asking terminology. So I'll say, oh, guys, what is it when income's bigger than expenses? It's on the tip of my tongue. Or you can use the line, oh, I'm getting old. Please remind me, what do you call it when income is bigger than expense? And in that way, the learners actually feel like it's a fun environment. They know more than you, and it lightens the mood. So use that instead of always doing it in a very straightforward fashion. And then terminology is great for revision, because remember, our terminology has our key terms. It has the concept, the nuggets of the points that they need to know for the theory. So verbal pop quizzes as they walk in work wonders. Okay, the next tip with terminology is that I'd like you to be cognizant that we need to make it an active learning process. So instead of giving them a list of terms, you and I know that very seldom that list actually makes it into their book. They'll stick it in their bag, it might end up in the bin, half of them you have to collect at the end of the lesson. So again, it's a learning process, and part of learning is learners need to hear it, they need to see it, and they need to write it. So at the start of a topic, what I like to do is get your learners to leave 2 pages open. And then as you progress through the theory and you teaching it, ask them to go back to those blank 2 pages and start filling it with the key terms. Yes, you'll obviously need to guide them and make sure that they're getting all the key points. And please make sure your learners write legibly. That's just an aside point, but the number of times learners have said to me, oh, what did I write here? Or what word is that? So it's just something. If they're using it as a reference tool, it needs to be presentable. So that's pretty much, the essence of it. And then again, as they're working through exercises, as they're doing homework, encourage them, go back to the terms, make sure you understand it. Don't just come to me the next day and say, oh, I didn't understand. Well, tell me what you didn't understand. And at the very least, they should be able to explain the terminology in the question, even if they need help with the method. Okay, so here I've included a quick class exercise that you can use as a pop quiz on cost, price and selling price. Learners can form pairs, and without their books, they can ask each other, for example, give the general formula for selling price. What do you call it when income is greater than expenses? What's the cost price? And calculate the percentage profit of an item. So I'd like to draw your attention to the fact that in your terminology lists, that yes, you've got your terms there and you've got the definition, but it's important again that learners have general formulae so that they're able to help recognize questions and put things into perspective or compartments when they're studying and when they're answering questions. So the last question of how would you calculate the percentage profit of an item? If you ask learners that verbally, a lot of them will say to you, what do you mean? Give me the question, give me numbers. But that's not the skill. The skill is they should be able to know that percentage profit is equal to profit over cost price times by 100%. Now, I know that a lot of you might say, yes, but in the exam papers, the formulae are given. And yes, that obviously helps our learners. So it's not so much that I'm encouraging them to do rote learning, but it helps with recognizing questions. It helps giving them something to hang terms on. And it helps in terms of them knowing what method to use.
If you found this video useful, give it a like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any new episodes. Follow us on Instagram or Facebook to stay on top of the latest TAS news and launches. So that's it for now from the Answer Series, your key to exam success.